And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success. I'm your host, Wes Tankersley. This technical difficulty thing is annoyingly annoying right now. I'm streaming live on TikTok and everywhere else that it comes out on. We got you on TikTok, Facebook. I'm trying to think where else my other one goes. Good morning, Nikki. As usual, Nikki, the bacon lover, is in the house over on YouTube. It's funny. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on. Michelle over on TikTok, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to do shout outs at the end of the show because I think that we're growing with our Patreons, with our subscribers, with all that stuff. I want to thank you all for doing that. Talk about how you can do that, how you can support the show. It's really cool because we might actually get off the ground with this thing at one point. But I know it's morning coffee. Yesterday, we did something a little different. If you did get a chance to tune in, listen, go watch, whatever, there is an episode with my friend Robert Watson. He has a book coming out, and we're breaking it down because it's one of those things that it's kind of like what we do. I pull a topic in the morning and try to figure out what to talk about, wake up, kind of do a little reflection of the previous day and what I could bring with it and kind of help other people figure out how to motivate them, navigate their day, make their time a little bit better, and hopefully help them to find a way to keep moving forward. Because that's what it's really about. It was cool because we talked about the first chapter, and the first chapter is called The End. Interesting. What is going on? We got Clarity Anchor over here on, and that's Michelle, I believe, over here on TikTok now. We're all cruising around, or on YouTube. If you want to get in on the conversation, it's a little bit easier to do it over on YouTube. Go to Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley. Subscribe. Turn the bell on so that you get a notification that we go live, and you can come hang out and talk with us. It's kind of like a daily morning show is what it's been. I've been releasing it on podcast. It goes live on YouTube. Just a fun time. So I enjoy doing this daily thing. It's very cool. But yeah, so we broke it down, and the first chapter is actually called The End because I think that we talked about that quite a bit, and I love it because all these topics kind of pop up at the same time. And the end is where it begins. Man, that's a song too. Who sings that? I don't know. Anyway, it's 1,000 Foot Krutch. The end is where it begins. Because you have to think about what you want to do and where that goal is at. And you've got to zoom out big picture. And that's one of the things that I really like, the perspective that Arnold Schwarzenegger put it in his new book is it's like a camera. Your life's like a camera. And you just zoom way out. And you look at like what you want. And then you start zooming in and looking at all those little achievements and what you have to do in order to get to the big picture. So then you zoom back in and work your way back. And that's how you have to look at goals. That's how you have to look at the things that you want to do because you have to figure out the way to make it happen. And in order to do that, you have to plan. And it's not like the plan you have to stick to the plan because sometimes the plan doesn't really go the way it's supposed to go. And I know we've talked about the hamster wheel before where you feel like you're running in a circle and you're just going one direction, but you're not getting anywhere. And sometimes you have to take a hop off the hamster wheel to keep moving forward because that's the way that it works. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to happen in the time that you want it to. But I was going through and I saw a TikTok that I had posted a couple years back. It was a duet with a guy named Leonard. I don't know that he's on TikTok anymore. I haven't seen his videos anymore because that's the way that it happens. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. We follow each other. And he was talking about this. He says, you don't get the life you deserve. You get the life you attract. And I started thinking about that. We talked a couple weeks ago about how you're as good as the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Well, the reality is that the 5 people that you spend the most time with are probably a lot like you in those ways. And if you don't like the way that they are, or you don't like the way that you are, you have to change something. You have to be willing to let those 5 people go and find a different 5 people, or maybe you need to let one of those other people out of the circle so that you're able to make a change. Because you attract those people based on the way that you act, based on the way that you do things, based on the way that you interact with other people. So if you have a positive attitude, you're going to attract positive people. And again, like we've talked about before, it's not always easy to be positive. But I found myself lately not going through the motions, but like going through the fact that, like, could it get any worse? But how good is it? You know, the last couple of days at work have been super crazy busy for me. We have holidays, right? And we have people who will come in and we'll give them a quote before the holidays. They're like, well, it's not ready. We'll let you know. And a lot of people, this happens every single year because this is the fourth year that I've been through Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, because that's kind of when the slow time is for my job. And usually the week before Christmas, you spend quoting out stuff and doing things that you know you're not going to get someone to buy or pay for or get the sale that day. And for me, it's really funny because I was talking to my account coordinator is taking a month off because she's moving, and I'm working with a previous one that I've worked with before. And she was just like, I got to get this figured out or I've got to get on top of my game because you're different than the other person that she works with. So like, I'm super quick. I get my stuff down. I quote it out, I order it, and she has to keep up with me, where usually she's like waiting and asking and trying to get the things that she needs in order to complete the sale and get the order going and all that stuff. So it's just funny. But what happened yesterday is I found myself, on Tuesday, I had like 4 or 5 people contact me over the weekend, and I refuse to, and call it a good salesman, call it a bad salesman, whatever. I refuse. Like, if I'm not working, if that's not the normal hours that I work, I refuse to answer emails. I refuse to, unless it's like something dire, something super crazy that I have to do. But like, I don't want them thinking that they can just use my time to, as far as my customers, I kind of train them, don't use my time to get what you need. You know, some people don't work past 5, or don't work or at work all day until 5. Well, what about me? I'm at work all day. I got to go pick up my kids. I got all this stuff to do too. So it doesn't mean just because you're a salesman, your time is different than everyone else's. If we have hours of 8 to 5, I'm just like, you know what, this is it. This is where they're at. And you can call it whatever you want. You can say whatever you want about that. But the reality is that if you try to call me after 5 o'clock and all you want to do is like complain about something or whatever, like I've just decided I'm not going to do that. The problem is with me, and this is a me problem. And that's what I'm starting to realize, is I recognize all these issues. And like when I'm having a conversation with my wife, or I'm having a conversation with my parents or anyone like that, and I talk about the way that I feel, I realize I'm like, is this a me problem or is this a them problem? Because I am so organized and because I have to have things a certain way, I realize that it's a me problem. And so I can't change what they do, but I can change what I do, right? And so if it's a me problem, then I decide that I'm not going to bring that to them because I need to fix it. I need to deal with it. I don't need to make them feel bad at what they do because it's me. It's not them. And it's crazy how that will change a lot of things. But you start thinking that way. And I was thinking about how busy I was and how I couldn't, take a breath. And then I stopped and I was like, you know what? This is great. This is the busiest I've been in a while. And I need that. I need the cash flow. I need the money to come in. It's at a time where we need it. So good. I have to do a little bit more work today. On top of the other things that I do, and this being one of those. And, another conversation that I had with Robert yesterday that was great was the fact that I do this at the time that I do this so that it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect anything. Today is my son's 2nd birthday, okay? And it's funny because I do this at this time so that it doesn't affect anyone else. but he's been up off and on all night, which happens from time to time. I don't know what the deal is now. Like he's either teething, my wife goes, he's either teething or he's constipated, one of them, and he has an issue. So he's up all night, and, man, it bugs me. It bugs me that not that he doesn't feel well, but how it affects me when I don't get enough sleep, because I'm that person that if I don't get the 8 hours, I don't function correctly. And so I'm tired today, but I'm going to make it work and I'm going to figure it out. But you have to be able to roll with the punches. And so my thoughts are always this. It's like, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. Everyone is asleep. I am not, right? I'm out here. I'm doing this. And this is where you have to find that time. And the cool thing is that I can get it done now, and I don't have to try and make it happen this afternoon, because this afternoon, it's going to take their time away. Now, you might want to be able to, you have a goal or something that you want to do. You might not be a morning person. You have to do it in the afternoon. You got to find a way. So it's pretty crazy. Try walking around 1 hour sleep. No, I'll pass. That's the thing. It is what it is. I'd make it work, but I can't function that way. So back to the people that you're around, the people that you, it's funny that you say that. He says, it's not my choice. It's called stress. I get it 100%. Like I've been there. And if you're one of those people like me, what happens with me is like I go to bed and I'll get a couple hours of sleep, but then like something will happen. Like I'll hear a noise or my kid will start crying or something will bother me. And then what happens is whatever is going on in my life, I will start to think about it and then I can't go back to sleep. So I get it. I understand that could be stress. I went through a period of time last month or 2 months ago when I thought I was going to have to sell the house and all that stuff. So it's tough. And I wish I had some tools to help you go back to sleep, but I don't know. Tylenol PM is my friend, and that doesn't always work either. But again, I keep like ramble. You'll hear me say ramble. It's just kind of the way it is. Sometimes I'll say some stuff and I'll talk about something and I'll get caught on a comment, and that's what this is about. Let's talk about it. Let's throw out the comments. Let's get this conversation going. Your brain be braining. Yeah, the interview that I did yesterday with Robert, I talked about how him and I talked about, and it's not an interview, it's a conversation between the two of us about his book. But we were talking about things, and as he's saying certain things, I'm just sitting there and I'll like kind of, how does that relate to my life? How can I use that as a tool? How can I be a lesson to me? And it's being curious about the things that you hear and being able to think about how you can relate them to everything is super helpful for me. But you don't get the life that you deserve. You get the life that you attract. And the thought in that is, like I said, with the lesson, you're around these 5 people who are terrible, and then you end up kind of getting that, I'm trying to think of what the word is, but it kind of just, it melds. So that energy they give off, and I think it's weird because energy, like when you talk about energy, I think that it's weird. It's like, it sounds kind of like mumbo jumbo. Oh, the world is full of energy. And it is. It's weird to say it that way, though. But if they're giving off that negative energy, it kind of just goes into you, and it kind of makes you feel that way. And you're around those people who are negative, you're going to be negative. It's just second nature. Unless you're like Mr. Guru, whatever, and you can just push that stuff out. So find those people who are going to build you up. Surround yourself with those people who are going to make it so that your life is better. Don't hang out with those ones who are going to tear you down and say, hey, no, you shouldn't do that or whatever. If you have a goal and a dream, find those people. Find those people who are doing the same thing. Figure out how they did it. Hang out with them. And it's not easy. This is pretty good. I typed that in after, I was kind of thinking about, I always kind of hear what other people say about things. So I'll look in a Google and I wrote it in there, and there's like, here's 7 things how to get what you deserve. Okay. 8 things how to get what you deserve. Decide what you want. First step is how to get what you deserve to decide what it is you deserve. So you're manifesting it, right? What do I deserve? What am I going to get? How am I going to get there? And that goes back to the zoom out, figure out what it is. You know what you want. How do you get what you deserve? How do you get what you are trying to get? Then you have to believe in yourself, right? Because someone's got to believe in you, and it starts with you. If you do not believe in yourself, if you don't have the self-confidence that you can accomplish that goal or that dream or the desire, you're never going to get anywhere. It starts with you. That's when it gets tricky, though, because it starts with you, and then you go and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, and you get all excited about it. And then everyone's like, well, but what if you fail? What if it doesn't work? And then you start getting that self-doubt. And what you have to remember is, so what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? The difference between people that enhance one another versus allowing people just to suck up your energy. Vampires, energy vampires. That's exactly what it is. It's funny how that can mean 2 different things. We can talk about the energy vampire of like this light that is, I can turn it off, but it's still kind of getting a little bit of energy. It's still taking it from you. So yeah, exactly. So believe in yourself, know that you can do it, and then be willing to receive different things, all right? Be willing to receive constructive criticism. I had a friend of mine hop on here. My friend Jay is very constructive with his criticism of me. I respect him. He says a lot of stuff to me sometimes, and I'm just like, oh yeah, he's so right. But I could go, oh, you're wrong, and you just be pissed off about the criticism that you receive. You have to be willing to receive the criticism, and then you have to also be, this is something that I have a hard time with. I'm really good at taking criticism because I think criticism is very important, but I'm also very bad at taking a compliment. It makes me uncomfortable when someone compliments me. I don't know why, but it does. And that's not to say don't compliment me, but that's to say that I just don't take it very well. I think that I'm trying to do, like, with the mentality that I have, that trying to do everything that I can do to be the best I can be no matter what every single day, I shouldn't get a compliment because I'm just doing what I should do. And that's always been the way. And that's always been the tough part, is like accepting the fact that compliments are something that you have to be willing to receive, just like you have to be willing to receive constructive criticism. It's crazy. Raise your standards. God, I love this. This is a great list. I need to write this stuff down, take a snapshot of it. Raise your standards. We sit here and we think about the standards that we have. I love Grant Cardone because he wrote this book called The 10X Rule, where he talks about raising your standards. Any goal or dream that you have, you typically will set the standards too low. You're going to sit there and go, well, I need to make $100 today as a salesperson, right? And that's where you set it. All right, my goal is $100. Well, if you go into that knowing that you're going to get the bare minimum, which is $100, and that's what you're going to try and do, that's all you're going to go for. And chances are you're not going to reach that. You're either going to get 70, you won't get the whole percentage of what you're looking for. So set it higher. You're going to make $100 today as a salesperson. I need to make 1,000. What am I going to do to make 1,000? Because what if I set that goal as what am I going to do to make 1,000? You may not make that 1,000, but you're going to make a hell of a lot more than 100 because you're pushing to make that happen. You're working harder. Northern Board Cowboy is over on TikTok. Good to see you, my friend. Touching on that idea with Rancher. Rancher is an awesome guy. If you guys haven't checked that out, we are trying to get Brian Sales up to 1,000 so we can get him in there too. Because if you don't know Brian, he's in here from time to time as well. But yeah, I mean, you have to set that standard higher because if you do, you're going to reach your goal and then some. And what happens when you reach your goal, right? Like you sit there and you talk about like, oh, I'm going to make $100. What happens when you're done? Or are you going to try and like, I'm not going to make any more. So what's the problem in setting it higher? Okay. Let's see. We got a question here. What are your thoughts on trying to explain the difference between managing and controlling? I had a coworker try to tell me that managing is controlling. I disagree. Managing is not controlling. I feel like a good manager is someone who will see what needs to be done and then will also involve other people in the conversation. And it's not like, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I mean, they do have the standards and the goals. They have the outline of what needs to be done, but that doesn't mean that they're in control of you. They have a goal that needs to be done, and they will manage you to get the best out of you to get what they need to do. Embrace change. Man, embracing change is freaking crazy. It's one of those things that no one likes. I had a conversation the other day with someone at work who was talking about we're going to get a CRM, and there's going to be people who aren't going to like it. And for those of you who don't know what a CRM, it's kind of like a managing system that kind of manages leads and makes sure that you're tracking things and helps you with marketing and things like that. But what does it mean? It means you have to enter a bunch more data than what you're used to entering. And it's crazy. It is crazy how people will be upset with change. They don't like change. They've been doing things this way for so long. And I'm always the person who wants to make things better. So I embrace the change. And if I don't like it, I figure out why I don't like it. And I try to either change myself or have a solution to why this isn't working for me and figure that out. No one, this is another quote from Arnold's book, no one ever got anything done by whining it into existence. Your goal isn't going to happen just by you whining about the things that don't happen, right? So no one ever made anything happen by whining about it. They had to do the work. So you have to do the work. You have to figure it out. And always whenever you have a problem, come with a solution. And, that's one of those things that, like with management that we're talking about over here, is they may have a problem with the way that you're doing something, but they don't have any idea how to fix it. They may not find something that's working with you, but they could find another way to motivate you, and they have to be willing to be a problem solver. Being a manager is being a problem solver. That's all. It's just like a coach. It's like you can't yell at one kid and then go over and, praise another kid. As I told you before, I have a hard time taking compliments. So when you come up and you compliment me, it's not, that's not it. That's not going to work with me. So how do you motivate me more? And for me, it's like just challenging me, but I'm a different person. And not everyone is that way. But you must embrace change, okay? And you may not have to like it, but have an open mind to change. What can change do for you? And I see this CRM thing that we're talking about being very helpful to me, very beneficial to me in getting me more business, making sure that people don't get my leads, making sure that I get everything that I need to get. Yep, it's a tough one. Compliments make me uncomfortable. I agree. Taking a chance, right? This is number 6. We got 2 more and then we'll roll out here. But taking a chance. You must take a chance. If you want to have something done, do something, it's always taking a chance. I think of businesses. Someone wants to start a business, and the biggest thing that people are afraid of is taking that chance. I've talked before about my parents and how they think the very best thing for me to do is go to college, get a degree, find a job that pays decent, good benefits, good retirement, work for someone else the rest of your life. And then just, retire and go off in the middle of nowhere. And I can't do that. That's not the way that I think. That's not the way that my mind works. I want something that's mine. And the scariest thing about starting your own business or doing anything on your own is taking the chance. Because you have to step off that ledge, off of that curb, and get on the road. And I remember when I quit teaching. I remember when I quit working at Les Schwab for 11 years. I had a job that I could work at and that I could do, and I was making good money. But I was working for someone I didn't like, and I was doing something for someone else. It's like, forget this. Went back to college. I taught for 4 years. Same thing. It was like doing something for someone else. And it's always a tough decision to make a change. It's always a tough decision to make a change. But taking that chance, once you do it, like I feel like the really hard part is talking people into taking the chance. Because once you do it, it's all on you. You've made that decision and you have to figure out a way to make it work, and you do it, but you feel so great about it. Like when I quit teaching, I was scared to do it because I was going to a job that was 100% commission. but I figured it out. And once I realized that there was more to me than what they were allowing to be, it was crazy. It'll kind of set you free. Yep, no one ever made it by doing the same thing everyone else is doing. 100%. Building confidence. And this building confidence comes with just doing it over and over again, right? We talked about yesterday about Michael Jordan and how he practiced harder than he played. And I doubt that he practiced harder than he played. I'm sure he practiced harder than he played, but he practiced so hard that play was so easy because he was prepared. So you've got to practice. You've got to build your confidence, and that comes with doing it. If you do something one time, so it's hilarious because you remember these S's that you drew when you were in middle school. I've been just sitting here drawing these from time to time on certain lives and things that I'm doing. They look like crap. But every time I draw one, it gets better. And that's how you build confidence in something that you're doing. You have to build it. You have to do it over and over again. You have to keep working at it. Okay? So build your confidence. And this very last one is the key to everything. Okay? This is a great list. But the very last thing is the key to everything. Don't give up. If you believe in what you're doing, if you know that what you're doing is very possible and you have that belief in yourself, like number 2 said, you are going to make it happen. Now, does it mean that you're not going to fail? Because failure is just an invitation to try again, right? And if you believe that and you know that, hey, I didn't make it this time, but I could make it next time because you're practicing, you're doing the work, you're embracing the change, you're embracing the suck because it's terrible when you fail. It feels that way. But as you get better at failing, you'll get better at completing the task. And the funny thing about people who want more is that they will keep going no matter what. Even when the fail happens, they're like, screw this, what can I do now? And then that practice, reach the goal, and all those things that happen, once you reach that goal, I can guarantee you, if you've done all these steps and you're trying to reach that goal, you're not done. You're going to set a new goal. And you're going to try again because you want to keep going. Keep moving forward. Keep building. Become stronger every single day. That was my pin drop. Wasn't a mic drop. That was my pin drop. But that's it. That's what we got for today. I want to say thank you for everyone to hang out. We've got Patreon supporters, Nikki Pavlovich, Anna Mellon. You guys want to join Patreon, you can go over to patreon.com. There's a link in my bio. You hit that link, go to westankersley.com. You can click the link there. This is as little as $3 a month. You can support the show. I think it's about time we send out some swag to those people who support. So we'll figure that out. Some stickers, maybe some. We'll see what I got in my little box of treats. I get my bookcases today, so we're going to start moving stuff in here, which will be nice. And then our TikTok subbers, we got Nikki's a subber on TikTok as well. Vanna, Twisted D, and Michelle. We appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting the show, helping it grow. And until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.